2, 1. Prez, you are live.
Welcome, everybody, to the Blue Line NHL Betting Podcast. Me and Matthew Barnaby. We do this every single day. There he is, the handsome Matthew Barnaby in Edmonton right now. Going to the game tonight, right?
Not going to the game tonight. We have a draft, Alzheimer's charity. But I will be at the game on Sunday when they get knocked out.
Don't forget who you want to draft. Get it? So what this show is about is how to make money betting hockey. We do it every day. It's never live except for Fridays. And these are big shows. We are lucky to have Tim Peel joining us. He's an NHL referee. And he's going to talk about, his favorite bets. And we got a lot of questions to ask him. We also have Jason York, an ex-NHLer, joining us. Andy Lang will be on. Andrew McInnis will be on. And at the end of the show, Matthew and I are going to take apart every single NHL game today and tomorrow. And we're going to do it with Andrew McInnis. So we will go through 7 NHL games, the 3 today, the 4 tomorrow at the end of the show. Let's start right off the bat with Tim Peel. If any of you guys have questions for Tim, who was a referee in the NHL for 1,000,000 years, feel free to ask. How are you, man? Thanks for doing this. And why are you wearing a St. Louis Blues jacket? I'm feeling like, I'm feeling like referees shouldn't be doing that. Were you on the ice in 2019?
No, I wasn't. I was drinking in a suite at Enterprise though. So no, you know what? And listen, I moved to St. Louis from Toronto in 2001. I've been here 24 years. My kids love the Blues. I'm retired. Kelly Chase, who Barney knows well, the Blues are such an incredible. Their alumni program is so incredible, and it brought me in as alumni, and so nice. It's you know what? It's fun time of year. I thought the Blues would win last night. We'll get into bets later, but. The first 2 games they lost in Winnipeg, especially the second game, the 2 goals that Winnipeg scored were kind of, one went off snuggy, and then Parenko made a bad play in front of the net. So it's the best time of year. It's a lot of fun right now. Hey,
Peeler, how was Chaser's event? I got flights canceled all over. I got stuck and couldn't make it. It looked absolutely unbelievable. And anyone that knows Kelly Chase knows he's having a tough time and battling hard like he did fighting cancer. But how was the event? It looked amazing.
It was awesome. Chaser, he's got cancer. He's trying to raise money for Siteman Cancer Clinic in St. Louis. He raised $700,000 in a venue that seats 2,500 people. But this really tells everything you need to know about Chaser. We're doing the game, and all of a sudden the side door opens by the penalty box. I blow the whistle to stop the game. No big deal. Garth Brooks just walks out onto the ice. Walks out. Chaser comes on the ice, gives him a big hug. Garth kisses Chaser's head. I go to Garth. I go, was it tough getting in? He goes, we circled around Peoria, Illinois for an hour and a half because, to your point, you couldn't get in because of the storms in St. Louis. And he said, I told the pilot, we are landing in St. Louis. I am getting there for this game. He got there. He landed and then hopped on his plane. But how many people can get Garth Brooks to show up to an event like that? And Chaser's battling, but he's doing a lot better.
I told my pilot the same thing, and he said, just go to the Marriott and have a few beers. Not the same crowd.
I think the takeaway of the story is that Matthew was able to talk directly to a pilot. That is impressive. Well, Matthew has his own personal pilot, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
He travels with a personal masseuse and a chef.
Yeah.
Tim,
hey, I'm not Deshaun Watson, buddy.
Yeah. And there's another one now who is Flacco, right? Is Flacco now caught with that nonsense?
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot going on in the sports world.
Anyway, Dan, the producer's in and he muted himself.
Justin Tucker, the kicker, you're thinking.
Justin Tucker.
Oh, yes,
Justin
Tucker. Right.
That's right. Yeah.
I knew it was one of those Raven
there
guys.
You go.
One of those.
Shannon Sharp's in a pile of shit.
Oh, yeah.
Quite a TikTok he put out there.
Yeah.
Tim, let's get into some bets, and then we do have some questions for you as we don't get you on very often ever. And you are a referee, so I do have questions, but let's get into some bets moving forward. We got 3 games going tonight, and obviously all 3 are must wins for the home team. Montreal down 2-0, New Jersey down 2-0, and Edmonton down 2-0. Interesting line moves on Edmonton all over the place. It was bet to 150. Now it's come down to 140. And money is coming in on Montreal. Which one of those 3 teams would be the best bet tonight?
I would take Montreal all day long. I watched that game 2 in Washington 2 nights ago, and Logan Thompson, man, he made some incredible saves in the third period. And Montreal, they've stood in there with the big boys. And if I'm betting money tonight, I'm betting on Montreal. Barney, you played for Montreal. You played in that building. The electricity in Montreal is like no other place in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm taking Montreal, buddy.
If you would have asked me this question a week ago and said these 3 teams were down 2-0 and going home, who would I take? I would have said Edmonton all day long because I think they're the best team out of the 3 that are down 2-0. Having said that, I'm with you in Montreal. I think they played great last game. Logan Thompson in the third period stole it for Montreal. I think there was a couple power plays that Montreal should have had, and I want to ask you that. I don't know how the Cole Caulfield won the cross-check in front of the net with the ref standing right there, staring right at Cole Caulfield. Doesn't make that call. But I'm with you at Montreal. Tough building to play in, and they've played really well in the first 2 games.
Yeah, and on that call, I mean, there were 3 egregious missed calls in that game. 3. The ref did come back and said the reason he didn't call it a cross-check was it was more of a push. But we're going to get into ref talk in a second. Some big bet just made. Literally, as we were talking, a huge bet just came in on the Washington Capitals. The line has now been moved down to -114, and that was in the last few minutes. I got to tell you guys, and we'll break this game down later, I don't see what you're seeing with Montreal. I look at this as a similar situation to Ottawa. Ottawa went into Toronto, played a great second game. I played a good first game, really. Both games, Ottawa was impressive, and both games, Ottawa was 1 shot away, and yet they lost the third game at home. I think Montreal and Ottawa might be a bit over their heads here. I don't know if that's a great bet from my perspective, but hey, both of you guys like it, and I have been known to be wrong. What about?
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, shut up, Matthew. No one asked you. What about Saturday? Florida, Tampa Bay, Minnesota, Vegas, Colorado, Dallas, and of course that Toronto-Ottawa game. What's your favorite bet on Saturday, Tim Peel?
I think Tampa's going to win a game. I wouldn't touch the Colorado-Dallas series. I just think Tampa's too good of a team. I'll be honest. I'm shocked that Florida won 2 games in Tampa, but they're so well coached. They've got such a good team, good goaltending. I expect Tampa to go out. I wouldn't touch the Colorado game at all. I think that's a coin flip. What were the other 2?
Ottawa, Toronto.
I think Toronto. Ottawa may win 1, but they're just not as good. Like I think Toronto's going to possibly sweep them. And
Vegas.
Listen. It's the same as Hellebuck. Okay, Linus Ullmark has never really done well in the playoffs. Yeah. Connor Hellebuck. He's got to win a game for Winnipeg because Binnington beat him in 2019. Binnington beat Hellebuck at the Four Nations. They pumped 7 in him on him last night. You don't think they're in his kitchen a little bit right now? I guarantee you they are.
We're on with Tim Peel, 21 years in the NHL as a referee. Tim, let's talk about the difference between refereeing in the regular season and refereeing in the playoffs, because it baffles me. To me, a penalty is a penalty. I don't. I mean, JD Butkus put up a tweet today. Matt does a lot of shows with him. He's an outstanding reporter. Where he was talking about how the refs aren't allowing the animosity to happen in the Toronto-Ottawa series. What's he talking about? Why is it not all the same? Do you guys have meetings beforehand? Does the league tell you to ref differently? What is going on?
No, they definitely don't. And that comment I don't think makes any sense at all, because I've seen a lot of animosity in that series. I've seen a lot of animosity in the other series. You don't think – I'm looking forward to game 3 in Florida, because you don't think somebody's going to try to rip Hagel's head off if he's not suspended. There's been a lot of animosity. The playoffs, listen, there are missed calls every year. I tweeted out before the playoffs. I said, well, here's the list of referees for the upcoming playoffs. Let the blaming and the complaining begin, because good teams do not complain about the officiating. I know there's missed calls, but I'll tell you right now, the players do not want everything called in the playoffs. The coaches don't want everything called in the playoffs, and the GMs don't want everything called. What they do want, we can't take the physicality out of the game. I'm not saying, I thought that penalty, obviously, in Washington the other night on Caulfield, obviously should have been called. But in fairness to the referee that was down low, he was looking at the backside of the play. He was looking at the back of their jerseys. He didn't really get a good look at it. I don't know what kind of sight line the guy out in the neutral zone had. Guys aren't just trust me when I say this, guys do not put their whistles away and say, I'm afraid to make a call, because what happens is 20 referees and 20 linesmen get selected to work the playoffs.
Right.
After the first round, it's the toughest round to make, because after the first round, they go from 20 to 12. 8 referees go home, 8 linesmen go home. And you don't want to be one of those guys going home, because it might not be a lot to NHL players and people with a lot of money, but the referees get $30,000 in bonuses for every round of the playoffs they work.
Oh, wow.
So guys that work 2, 3, 4 rounds are making $120,000 a year. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So the Gary Bettman gets on. We have a conference call every year, either the day before the playoffs start or that morning, and Gary and Bill Daly come on with Colin Campbell, and they basically say, call the standard that you've been calling all year, the hooks and the hands. I was watching the Toronto game the Florida game last night, 2 or 3 penalties, hooks in the hands. These officials aren't perfect. Of course. And listen, of course there's missed calls. I get it. There are.
Yeah.
But it's really easy to sit on the sofa with a glass of wine or a Busch Light and watch the replay 3 or 4 times and referee. It's that everyone can do that. And that's why, like, I see Twitter, and it's like, these guys, you think they're the worst referees in the world. Well, actually, they're the best referees in the world. So
I have a few statements. First of all, I disagree with JD Bunkus. There's been animosity in most series. And you can take Winnipeg, St. Louis. St. Louis, I think, had 60 hits last night.
Unbelievable.
60 hits. They had 24 in the first game, but 60 yesterday in the game. Yeah, insanity. Like, insanity. Who are the refs in the Washington-Montreal series?
Well, they switch. So what happens is the Stephen Walkham will send out the assignments for the first 5 games in each series. So you'll have one crew work game 1, a different crew work game 2, because there's 20 refs. So you've got 20 refs, you got 10 crews. A different crew will work game 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll never see the same crew in the first 5 games of any series.
Okay.
Then when it comes down to game 6 and a game 7, that's when you might see a crew that worked game 1. And I remember Washington, Montreal, back, I think it was remember that series? It might have been 2014 or 16, whenever Washington, Halak from Montreal stopped like 65 shots. And in Montreal,
he was unbelievable.
I worked that game, but I worked game 4 in that series, and I was working with Dan O'Rourke. And we worked game 4 in Montreal. They go game 5 in Washington. I go to Buffalo to work with Dan. We're sitting there at the hotel after our game 5 in Buffalo. We get a text message, "You're going back to Montreal for game 6." And we were like, wow. It was a huge compliment because the GM of Montreal and the GM of Washington was like, "I want O'Rourke and Peel back." And Kevin Collins, the famous linesman, was the officiating manager on that. And not to get off topic, but in game 6, the NHL back then was really trying to clamp down on diving. And Dan O'Rourke, if you can imagine, now think about this in the Bell Center at Montreal. We called 3 diving penalties against Montreal in game 6. 2 of them were against Max Lapierre, who was one of the biggest divers ever. And the third one was to Brian Giunta. And I remember throwing my arm up in the air in the third period. It was a diving penalty against Lapierre. It was the third one of the game. And I can remember it like it was yesterday. And I throw my arm up. I go, well, this could be the last penalty I call in the NHL playoffs because they just may set me up. But it's so no, our guys aren't afraid to make calls. But you also the other thing is when guys say the refs miss calls, it's not necessarily they missed a call. You do not want to call a 1-minute penalty in the playoffs. You want to make sure that it's a good penalty. Right. Excuse me. Because what happens is if you call a weak penalty in a playoff game and that other team scores on the power play on a soft call, nobody feels worse than the referees. And I guarantee you are going home because the league says we can't trust that guy.
Yeah,
we can't put him in a big game.
That's so interesting.
Yeah,
Tim, I got to tell you, Matt, I'd love to do it. I'd love to do a show with you, and where we have time and we can, delve into this. Like literally 2 weeks from now, we're going to be down to 1 game a day.
Yeah,
please find some time for us. I have a million questions. I mean, we got Jason York waiting. We got other guys. We've got to keep the show moving. I have a million questions for you. The audience has a million questions. I mean, I got questions. Can you ref a team, a team that, if you were born in Toronto and cheered for the Leafs, can you ref the Leafs? Like we could go on for hours. I'm begging for more Tim Peel. Just not today.
Well, I appreciate it. Tell Yorkie I said hello. He's a good man.
Peeler, you're the best, and good luck to your son in the tournament in Chicago.
Thanks, boys. I appreciate it. Good job. Yeah. Keep up the great work.
Cheers, buddy.
Thank you. Matt, we need Tim back on. Flat out, we need Tim back on. I mean, oh my God. And I can't believe, he was telling us off air he's 59 years old. He looks incredible.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's a great person. Great person.
Speaking about incredible looking, Jason Bourne. Oh, wait, it's Jason York you brought on.
Hey, Prez. Okay, do you know why Peeler looks so good? I can't believe you guys let that slide. He drinks Busch Light.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Where did that come from, Bernie?
Oh, I know. Hey,
when I was 18 or something, I think in my last year of high school, we went on a road trip to Washington, and I bought a shirt that said "I like Busch." I'll never forget that, and it was the Busch Light.
Not the 70s? Was that back in the 70s?
Yeah, probably the 60s.
Hey,
I like this guy already.
Yorkie for Prez. It's 2025. He's still rocking the Busch.
Oh, Prez would get abused in the dressing room.
Oh, yeah.
That thing, Prez, come on.
Yeah.
Get the machete out there.
Hey, I still remember being 19 after my first training camp, showering with Dave Hannon, Pat LaFontaine, and the late, great Dale Howardchuk. And there I am with the razor with these 3 guys, and I got it going, and I'm trimming the big guy down, the little guy down to make it look a little bigger. And Pat LaFontaine and Howardchuk are looking at me like, what the hell are you doing? I go, your wives will thank you if you take some notice.
Yeah. So this show is brought to you by Manscaped. I personally think the Gillette razor is the best one with the flat, the green one.
Too much info, Prez.
but
Yeah,
much
way too much
Hey,
info.
you started this, the smartest man in hockey. Okay. So
Hey, I didn't give myself that name, by the way. It was a reporter a long time ago. I just roll with it, man. I roll with it, Prez.
yes. Well, and a good name. Oh, that's a great picture in the background.
You like
I
that?
love that. It's really nice.
It's from a local artist here in Ottawa. Barney probably knows him, Tony Harris.
Yeah,
He does all the artwork when guys have like a milestone game, like 1,000 game, or a guy retires. Tony is the official artist for the NHLPA and for the NHL. Does great work. There's Bobby Orr's skate back there, and the other one I believe is Gretz's. So it's something different.
The
That
Dao.
is incredible.
Hey, the damn Dao.
The Dao. I had those. I had the blue blades.
Hey,
I just
24, right?
Yeah. All right, we got to get
24.
into this. We got to get into this.
Okay, Matt,
yeah.
Your
you
Yorkie.
take the segment over and
Yeah.
go game by game.
Yeah.
I
Hey.
will kick back.
Prez, this
Yorkie,
this is what happens. Like I've known Barney for a long time. You get chatting, and the chit chat starts. Barney loves chit chat. I love chit chat. Anyways, let's get to the meat of things here.
let's just start in Ottawa. Take us through
Sure.
that series, and what are the chances that they are able to push it to a game 5? They've had moments, discipline. Toronto's been a very good team. I said that they were going to win game 3. I've had them all 3 games in this series. Even though I bet Toronto, I was hoping for Ottawa, only because being in Ottawa, I love seeing restaurants and bars do well. I just think they're outmatched in this series. Take us through the first 3 games, and what do you have for game 4? Does Ottawa stand a chance to push it to 5?
I think it's going 5, Barney. I think the games, Ottawa's been in every game. So you'd have to think if based on just the laws of attrition and sooner or later something's going to bounce Ottawa's way, I think they win game 4. I was there last night, guys. The crowd was amazing. I'm from Ottawa too, just like Barney. So nice to see this city engaged after, I think it's been 8 long years and no playoffs. So I got to think like could have won last game. Could have won game 2. Toronto deserved game 1, but the other 2 were a coin flip, guys. And here's the thing: it's going to come down to Ottawa hasn't been very good on faceoffs. Ottawa has done a horrible job of shooting the puck, and they're missing the net way too much. But Toronto's blocking a ton of shots. But you just look down the middle, guys. Toronto's got so much experience: Matthews, Tavares, Domi, Lawton. That's a lot of experience, and you compare it to Ottawa. You got Stützle playing in his first playoff, Pinto playing in his first playoff, Ridley Gregg's playing in his first playoff, Dylan Cousins playing in his first playoff. So, yeah, the experience is huge, but I think that young group, guys, if I was going to put some money down, I would bet on the Sens for game 4. I think the crowd's going to be good, and I think they're going to get 1.
Let me jump in quick here, Matthew, because I got 2 NHL players right next to me, and I'll go to you, Jason. What we talk about as professional gamblers, we're looking for angles, situations, and here you have that situation where a lot of professional gamblers like to bet against the sweep going into game 4. Is there a psyche change in the dressing room? Like, are the Leafs going to breathe, and that sort of breath lowers their intensity and allows Ottawa to get that last game? What happens in the dressing room when you're up 3-0?
So I'm going to say it's more so for the other side, Prez, because with Ottawa, they were nervous. And Barney will tell you this: when you play your first playoff game, you're nervous. I thought Ottawa was really nervous period 1 of game 1, and they're not a good team from playing from behind. Game 2, better start, but still they gave up 2 goals early. I thought they should have won last night because they got the first goal. But to answer your question, Ottawa's down 3-0. So the psyche in their room now is the damage is already done. We're down 3-0. They're going to actually be more relaxed. So because you play with nothing to lose, you play with probably less fear of losing, and you just go for it. And that's really good for a young group. So if I'm betting that game, I'm going to go to the fact you got a young team that doesn't have a lot of experience, minus you got Perreault, Giroux, and those guys. But I think the younger guys are going to play much better, and they're not going to be gripping the sticks as tight because that's what they've been doing in the first 3 games. But I think Toronto, it's not that they're going to let up. I think Ottawa's going to play hard, but they're going to be more relaxed. And I think that's why they're going to win game 4.
Couple things, Yorkie, and I agree with you that like they're a young team that literally just played to the last day to get into the playoffs and find their way. And this is an experience builder. You can look at the Drake Batherson play in overtime. That's not going to probably happen to him ever again. It's an experience of not being there before and not knowing how important it is just to take what they give you at that time. And he's a young kid, just made a mistake, and he's going to learn from that in the future. Because this team's going to be there for years and years to come. I'm going to go to the Toronto side. It's not that they're going to let up. It's subconsciously, you have a 3-game lead. You know you have a 3-game lead. Your subconscious takes over. And I agree. I think Ottawa played a good game. They could have had a better fate in a couple of these games. It just didn't happen. But I think Toronto just is going to go out and play a game. And if Ottawa doesn't get into penalty trouble like they did in game 1, that's what cost them. 3 power play goals cost them.
100%.
That's probably not going to happen again. They're going to learn game by game and get better. So I think Ottawa's going to play hard. I think it's going to be a tight game. I don't think anyone blows anyone out. But I think subconsciously Toronto could be looking to game 5 and say, we win it here. They want to end it. They want to get as much rest as they can. But subconsciously, I think it plays into that. You don't have to win game 4.
Yeah, no, it's there, Barney and Prez. And it was funny. I was listening to you guys talk with Peeler, and he was talking about the refs. I agree, Prez. What an interesting, get some more time with him and listen to how they judge the refs. Because to Bernie's point, if Ottawa has a parade again to the penalty box, Toronto's going to win this game. The power play's the power play's too good. Like you got 4 world-class power play specialists out there, and Ottawa's way too passive with their kill. But I thought the refs did a really good job in game 2 and 3. Game 1, they weren't very good. They just weren't very good. But hey, I get it. They make mistakes, but I think they're going to let them play. And it seems to be happening all over in all the different rounds this year because Barney and Prez, I don't know you guys, I hate seeing games decided by power plays. I can't stand it.
Yes, we all hate it. With that said, it bothers me more than missed calls. Like last night, the Leafs, and I'm a homer, flat out Leaf fanatic. Last night, the Leafs were on a power play, and Mitch Marner got blatantly tripped. It should have been 5-on-3.
Oh yeah, that should have been called.
So to me, it's like I get more mad when the refs screw up than when the game is decided on a power play. Listen, Jason, last week we had a segment with Jeremy Roenick that went that really a couple of 100,000 views. It was spectacular. I want to do the same thing with you. I want to go through. We got 7 games in front of us, 3 tonight, 4 tomorrow. I want to
rapid fire.
Matt, you want to handle it? You guys do it?
No, you fire away. You have everything in front of you. I'm at an Alzheimer's event with nothing in front of me.
Yes.
Except for my CTE right up here.
Yes.
There's a hamster running around in this head right now.
Spinning, on the wheel.
A friend of mine's dad went to the doctor, and the doctor said, I got 2 things to tell you. He's like, okay, what's the first one? He's like, you have cancer. And he's like, what's the second one? He's like, you have Alzheimer's. He's like, phew, thank God I don't have cancer. Okay.
Let's go.
Washington tonight, -120 against Montreal.
The Habs are I like the Habs tonight. I like the Habs. They're buzzing at home. I think they're going to use that home court advantage, Prez. Take Montreal.
And Carolina, a big favorite, -170 against New Jersey. They're +145. How do we bet this one?
Man, I like the Canes right now. They're the best team nobody's talking about. Nobody's talking about the Canes. They've been good. New Jersey's banged up. Freddie Anderson seems to have figured things out. I'd take the Canes in this one again.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you there.
I agree. New Jersey not good enough.
No, too soft.
No Jack Hughes. No.
Yeah.
And Sheldon Keefe is not exactly known for his brilliant playoff coaching. Edmonton -140 against the Kings in a must-win game. Where are you going in this one?
Oh, geez, man. Well, does LA looks like a wagon right now, don't they? Jeez. Is Kempe the best player in the NHL right now?
Man,
nobody talks about the Kings because they're out west and they start late. But I think Connor coming back home, man, I can't see them going 3 Cobb. I think McDavid, Draisaitl, going to ratchet it up one more level. The question, who's playing Nets though?
I think Pickard's going to play in that. So they got to go to Pickard. Got to go to Pickard.
Yeah.
And Stuart Skinner mentally, you talk about a hamster in a head. It's got to be running around. I don't see Edmonton losing. I think LA. I picked them to win the series.
Yeah.
But I don't see Edmonton going down at home with
Neither do
those 2 players. I just don't see it.
Playoff Leon's a different beast. Like I think you're going to see playoff Leon, and Connor's he's going to be on a mission. They're not going down 3 Cobb.
Matt, keep going. Prez had to refresh his camera.
That's
Prez gone.
Right.
Yeah. Bernie,
Prez has gone to trim his bush.
That's going to be here all day.
Oh yeah, no, I love it, but I agree. But how big? I picked LA mainly because of the goaltending and no Ekholm in the series. You have a guy like Ekholm, and you see through 2 games they've given up 12 goals. I mean, you could take Bouchard. You got to teach him how to play a 2-on-1, or it's got to be that Bonnie Blue, because he's seen more 2-on-1s than Bonnie Blue in the last couple games. So
he's like
he's had a tough run.
He's like that character in Batman there, Two-Face. He's got the offense, which is beautiful, and then the ugly side is his defense. Yeah. He's such a talent, though. But it just goes to show you like how important Matthias Ekholm is to that blue line.
Yeah.
He might be the most underrated defenseman in the league for what he brings. Like, just remember when they brought him over last year, he just stabilized that whole Edmonton blue line. He's big, which you need in the playoffs, and he's sneaky good offensively too. Like he's got some pretty good patience. He's got a good shot. But even without him, I still think Edmonton wins this because you got 2 of the best players in the world, McDavid and Draisaitl. For the life of me, I can't see them going down 3-0, especially playing at home for Game 3.
Jason York joining us, everyone. Saturday's card, 4 games. Tampa Bay lost both at home, but we've been here before in this series.
Yeah.
I think a couple of years ago, there was not 1 home win, and it went 7. They're plus 120. Where are you going?
Oh, well, I took all Tampa Bay Lightning in my hockey pool, so I'm praying for a Tampa win here, fellas. Yeah, who knows? Maybe it's one of those series. I'll go back to their experience. Coop's one of the best coaches in the game. You got Braden. I'm a massive Braden Point guy. I think he's one of the most underrated guys in the league. Then you got like their D. They got big D like McDonough, Chernik, Hedman. Again, I'll just say it. Like the odds have to come in back and play, don't they, guys? Like Tampa's not. They're not losing 3 in a row, are they? I know they lost the first 2 at home. But I think they're a pretty good pick. They've got some experience. I think it'll help them out here. And Vasilevsky needs to have a night. I think he will. So I'll go with Tampa.
Vegas, Minnesota. Vegas down 2-1. Really important game, minus 145.
Yeah, and Vegas was so good. A lot of people were picking Vegas as their dark horse to get back to the finals this year. I'm a big Mark Stone fan. Man, he's such a smart player. The way they play, the veteran guys are going to step up. I don't know about you, Bernie, but I thought Jack Eichel was one of the best players at the Four Nations. Man, he was really, really good. So I'll take Vegas in this just with the Stone Eichel factor.
Mark Stone, the best player with the littlest amount of skill I think we've ever seen in the NHL. That's not an insult. That is not an insult.
You're insane, dude.
No, he is incredible.
Explain yourself, Prez. Explain that comment.
No. If you would have
just dropped that,
maybe you could say he gets the most out of his skating ability.
There you go.
But he can shoot the puck.
Yes.
He's one of the best at stripping people of the puck on a back check with a stick. And I agree with you. Jack Eichel has changed totally the narrative since leaving the Buffalo Sabres. I'm with you. I think that Vegas wins this one. Minnesota's playing great hockey. Kaprizov, they're at a whole new level. That play by Hartman at the end of the period with 5 seconds, where he actually looks at the clock and then turns and fires one right at the net, hits Kaprizov. I'm on Vegas here. I think they come back in this series, and I don't think minus 145 is a big number to be playing here.
I got to go back to Stone for a sec with Prez here.
Yeah.
You know what one of the biggest skills in hockey is that nobody ever talks about except people that really understand hockey? guys that process the game fast. Probably the number one skill. Everybody thinks it's skating and this. No, it's guys that think fast. Stone's brain probably thinks as fast as any of the top guys in the league. He's got like a micro super processor up there, Prez. His skating's not great, but man, I don't think there's a guy that reads the game better than he does.
Yorkie. Prez plays in a Division 5 over 50 league.
Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah.
Division 5?
He knows how to bet, but I'm not taking his. Like, come on. He can play poker. He can bet. He knows the guy's amazing at it. But he's not going to tell us, like, get out of this segment.
I can't even raise the puck, okay? Like,
you in the No Raisies League? You in the No Raisies League?
Yeah, the No Raisies League. Yeah. I am. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I played goalie until I was 16, and I sucked at that too. So, but I can out-ski both of you guys. That I assure you.
Okay.
Not a chance. Barney's still. I've seen Barney play in some of these charity events. He's
We
crafty out there.
I
Good
said
room
ski.
guy too.
I said ski. I cannot outplay you guys in any.
Skiing's for rich kids. Barney and I didn't grow up with any money. We
No.
didn't ski.
No, I've known Yorkie since I've been a kid, by the way. I've known Yorkie and his whole family since I've been a kid. I think he had the fart jar in my mouth when I was younger. They used to hold us down and get the fart jar and then put it over our noses. Little bastard. I still hold repeating.
That's why Barney left me alone when we used to play Buffalo. He didn't want to come near me.
The old fart jar.
Guys, we
had the bad gas.
Guys, we still have Andy Lang and Andrew McInnis to come. Stay with us. Hit that like button. Justin P. Kucherov is the smartest for him. Justin P. would not know, just for the record. But I'm guessing Kucherov is pretty damn smart.
Yeah.
He is. I'm not a Cooch guy, though. I'm not a Cooch guy. He's too grumpy. Way too grumpy. Everybody
loves good Cooch. Okay, let's move on. So you like Ottawa to win Game 4. We've established that. Dallas and Colorado. Shout out to Dallas. What a victory. Man, they were like minutes away from being down 2-0. Now they're up 2-1. Where are you going in this game?
It's my old junior teammate, Pete DeBoer. Man, he's doing a nice job with that Dallas team. Again, like I just have a hard time seeing two of the best players in the world in Makar and McKinnon losing, and they're not going to let Rantanen get the better of them. Colorado's a team I thought win the cup this year, but one of these teams that Dallas could win the cup too is going home in the first round. But I think Colorado, I like them to win the next game. Hopefully they get the goaltending, but man, McKinnon, Makar, I'm not betting against them.
Matthew, anything else with Jason? Another fun show, man. Yeah. I'm loving your group of people you keep putting on.
I'm with you, Yorkie. I think Colorado wins tonight. I have them winning the cup as well. I have them winning over Florida. But going back to the Florida game, I'm not betting against Tampa. I can't bet that game because I have Florida in the series and it just doesn't make sense. Like Colorado, I can't bet them at -190, but I do think they win. And I'll stick with them for the series. And Yorkie's class, man. He's a great broadcaster, was a great player, great person, great friend to many. And yeah, you're the best, man. Hey, can't wait to see you this summer.
Hit me up anytime, fellas. I had a blast. Prez, was a pleasure. And I'll be listening to you guys.
Say hi to the kiddos for me.
I will. Take care, guys.
See you, buddy.
Really appreciate Jason York. Wow, that is Matthew. This is fun, man. You live a colorful, fun, freaking life, brother. These guys are amazing that you're bringing on. Thank you for doing this. Let's bring Andy Lang in, get some prop bets done, and then Andrew McInnis, you and I will go through every game super quick. Andy.
What is up, guys? Hope you guys are having a good day. A couple of funny things about betting, and then we'll get into a bunch of props. So, Matthew, Prez and I found a bet. Will Carolina win by shutout in their series at least once? 5-1. They've allowed one goal in each of the games, which is really frustrating. Remember, I know it's right there. And then, if you remember, we talked about as our long shot, Winnipeg and St. Louis
over 10.
Game, and they've had 8 and 9.
Yeah,
come on, guys, one more goal. So, but the daily props have been really good. I got a bunch because I got a couple for tomorrow. So Uri, I believe it's Uri Slafkovsky. Is the pronunciation over 1.5 shots on goal? He's just come alive in the first 2 games of the series. 7 and 8 shot attempts. 4 and 5 shots on goal, and the books are leaving us at 1.5 shots on goal. I'll be happy to take this one. Canadiens 26 shots last game, 35 in the previous game that went to OT, so they're getting the puck on net. I think he goes over. A small sprinkle on Tom Wilson over 1.5 shots on goal. He had 2 shots on goal the first couple games, over in 5 straight games against Montreal. He just likes firing the puck against them. 9 shot attempts through 2 games, so I like the volume there. Matthew, I got a stat that's really crazy for you. I'm going to take Darnell Nurse over 1.5 shots on goal. He has more shots than Connor McDavid in this series so far.
Wow.
That may be why they're down, but
Yeah, maybe you think
that might have something to do with it. 5 and 6 shot attempts first 2 games, 3 shots on goal each game. I was talking to my buddy earlier, and he's like, "Listen, sometimes teams are just like anybody but Connor McDavid is going to beat us, so we're just going to pile on." And we're not going to let him, and it opens up the avenues for guys like Darnell Nurse. So take a look at Nurse over his shots on goal. I like Anderson over 22.5 saves, 23 and 25 saves this series. Listen, the Devils had 26 shots on goal. They had 18 missed shots. So a lot of shots that were going there. Not all of them got on goal, but I think he gets over the saves. And then we're just rinse and repeat. Or going back to Pavel Dorofeyev over 2.5 shots on goal. That cashed for us yesterday. We're going back to Tim Stutzel over 1.5 shots on goal. That cashed for us yesterday. Pavel's just going crazy. 3, 5, and 4 shots on goal. He has 25 shot attempts in this series. Like, he gets the puck, he's firing it away. So those are all the props for today and tomorrow. Let's keep cashing. It's been a really, really good start to the playoffs.
Andy Lang, awesome, dude. We love having you on. We'll see you on a Monday for more.
I said the other day, just jump on his train. I'm with Dorofeyev again. He's going to be firing the puck with them down. They're going to have power plays. And Stützle, I think Ottawa has a good chance at winning this game, even though Toronto is the better team. But I think Stützle will have a big game for them as well. So I'm jumping on those two. I haven't had a lot of time. I'm just following my man. I want to make money.
Let's do
Rinse
this.
and repeat.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, you just follow Andy Lang's prop bets and you're all going to make money. Guys, hit that like button. Hope you're enjoying the show. We're going to be doing this every Friday. We're also do this every day. It's not live every day, but you can see us on all the streaming platforms. Look under the Blue Line Titans. Love the guests. Awesome show. Thanks so much. What is that, Matt? What do you, a lanyard?
Little Matthew Barnaby Alzheimer's pass.
I
Tells me what table I'm sitting at, table 12. And,
is that because you might forget your name? Oh my God, the jokes are horrendous.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. No,
so
I can walk into the room and they know who I am.
Of course they do.
Know who
I
I
was
am.
just
Okay.
I
A
was
lot of
just
greats
worried.
here. A lot of greats here today. I was just with Mark Recchi and Ray Bork outside. Brad Mays here. So many so many great guys. Love these events because I get to catch up with so many great guys, and it's a lot of fun.
Mr. Ford enjoying the show. Thanks, brother. Andrew McInnis, what up, dude?
What's up, guys? I just got off the phone with Mark Stone and asked him what it was like playing with Crosby and McKinnon at the Four Nations. He said he liked playing with them.
Are you trying to take the piss out of me? I win, dude. I'm doing a show with you and Andrew and Matthew Barnaby.
There you go. There you go.
Mark Stone, who? Anyway, puck time and the Blue Line to start my morning every day. I love it. Thank you, Mark. Really appreciate it. Matt, I don't know if you know this, but Andrew has been doing play-by-play out in Nova Scotia, and that is the hardest goddamn. Have you ever tried it? It's
No.
impossible.
I've done color. I've always said I can do color any day of the week. Play by play is a special art, man. It's very tough.
It's tough, Matthew. I would say it's the most tough in a blowout. Like, obviously, you want to prepare for the big games.
Yeah.
But your natural energy, like in the playoffs, doing these shows with you guys, doing my shows, I'm naturally more excited because I love hockey, right? But when you at a game and it's like a bottom seed playing a top seed and it's 5-1 in the third.
Oh,
it's hard to sound like you really care when
Yeah.
you're doing. It's hard to be enthusiastic. It really is.
Hey guys, I got to run in there. You guys know my picks from during the game. I'll be posting them on Twitter as well. But I got to run in to raise some money for Alzheimer's. So keep the show going and thanks to our guests for coming on, Peeler and Jason York. They were absolutely awesome. Hope everyone out there. I'm going to look on. I'll answer some questions later on as well and comment on our page. So have a great weekend. Let's make some money and cheers, boys.
Matthew Barnaby, everybody. Awesome stuff.
See you, Matt.
Andrew, you and I
All
are
right.
going to do this alone. 7 games, 3 today, 4 tomorrow. Let's start with Montreal playing Washington. And I'll tell you right off the bat, we have a couple of guys, Tim Peel and Jason York and Matthew Barnaby, all like Montreal. I don't. I like Washington tonight. I feel like it's a similar spot to what Ottawa and Toronto were in last night. I feel like Montreal also have played their best games. I think their best games are behind them. I do think Montreal in the first period might be worth a look, but I don't think the money is. I need better odds than plus 100 to bet Montreal here. So I lean on Washington. You?
Yeah, I mean, look, I haven't bet Montreal in this series so far with clients, and this might be the first night that I do it. The opener, looking at the odds logic page, guys, and if you're looking for an odds service, either Wager Talk Live Odds or the oddslogic.com page, the opening number, Prez, was minus 140 on this game. Current number at Pinnacle and Circa, minus 115. This is an exact replica. And when I say exact, it is like almost the exact same from the opener overnight number to the current one of the St. Louis Blues and the Winnipeg Jets. And both teams are wild cards. And Winnipeg is the best team in the league. Washington, second best team, or vice versa, excuse me. So I think this could be the game for Montreal, getting behind that home crowd. Game 4 would be the toughest. You say that, you know, this is the thing, Prez. I think that the Canadiens are lucky to have had back-to-back games be 1-goal games minus the empty netter. Montembeault has been the story. Like, he has been the guy that's kept them in. Flat out. Montreal has probably been the better team for, I would say, maybe 20 minutes out of the 120 minutes they played this series so far. Maybe we could say 40, because the third period in both games has been the best period from the Montreal Canadiens. Now, the thing they have to do is turn both those periods, both games into a full effort and not just play the third period. Something tells me we see some goals tonight, though, Prez. Over 5.5. I know the irony is you would think underdog Montreal Canadiens, low scoring, gives them the best chance. So with the way Thompson and Montembeault's playing, it's kind of hard to take an over. But I do think that the Canadiens can find their offense. But at the same time, if they find their offense, it might open things up for the Capitals finding their offense as well. So lean towards the over 5.5. I like the Canadiens. Yeah. And I promise you, Prez, I'm not just saying this about this game and with what you said there, but it's one of those things where we talk about the odds, right? And people want the best odds possible. But if you look at St. Louis, the best odds for them were when they were on the road in game 1. The best odds for them were game 1 and 2 when they're on the road. And then the odds drop significantly. And they're very similar to what the odds are tonight in the Montreal Canadiens game against this very Capitals team. So it's interesting like that because, like, for example, last night, when you take a look at the Memphis Grizzlies basketball game, right? They were like plus 3.5, plus 4 in the first half. And then they were like double-digit dogs in the full game. So everybody would say, well, why would I take that number first half? And then, I could take this plus 11.5 in the full game. Well, they actually blew out OKC in the first half and got blown out in the full game. So sometimes the number, just because you're getting a more juicy number, doesn't mean it's a good bet at the time.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Andrew McInnis joining us. This is the Blue Line Hockey Betting Podcast. Hit that like button, everybody. Any thoughts on the Kings-Oilers total? Mark, we'll get there. Andrew, Carolina, New Jersey tonight. Money coming in on Carolina, pouring in, now minus 166, and I get it. I'd look to take Carolina in regulation here. I think New Jersey is done. Will they get one game? Maybe. I don't think it'll be tonight. And this is a veteran Carolina team and super deep. Really the Winnipeg Jets of the Eastern Conference, if you will. And it looks like Freddie is playing well in net too. They've allowed only 1 goal each game. I got to play Carolina here. You?
Neither game has gone, and none of these games have gone over the total yet in this series. as game twos have been typically lower scoring, but we saw just barely get that puck line victory for backers. Didn't get my team total victory for me in game two, but I'm going to go right back to it. And the funny thing is I've had more success when they're plus money like this than when they're minus money. You look at the Avalanche in game one, they were plus money for their plus 125 team total. And then, in game two, they don't get it. I think this is going to be a spot where the Hurricanes take advantage for the second straight game, Hughes being out and Dylan being out. I'm disappointed in myself, Prez, because you and I worked together on Puck Time, and I said, you know what? Luke Hughes is out, Dylan is out, and I did the typical mistake you shouldn't make where I overreacted to an injury. But sometimes it's that second game when these two key players are missing where you really see the full effects. So
that's a great point.
Everyone thinks you go back at home, man, and you can't lose. I think Carolina could definitely go up 3-0.
Yeah. Edmonton tonight in an absolute must-win game against a team that they have dominated in the playoffs for 3 straight years. Skinner's a disaster. Their backup has been Picard. I think he just got off the Voyager and is playing tonight. I like the over in this game, Andrew. I mean, I just... Edmonton's goaltending is a disaster, and I think we're going to get a really good game from the big boys on Edmonton. We know the Kings can score. They're scoring in every game. This line doesn't seem to want to move, so 6 it is, and 6 is where I'm going. I think we're getting 7 to 9 goals here.
Yeah, I mean, the only difference is from this LA King team from years past is that they didn't really have the ability to win the highest scoring games. And you look at game one, they get out to a 4-0 lead. Now they're not really so one-dimensional, but I still believe that if the Oilers win tonight, or even if they don't, we're going to see some goals here. I believe that. I think you can take the over in the first period. You can take the over in the full game. You can look at some player props, whatever it might be. Calvin Pickard, 274 goals against average regular season. Believe it or not, he was 22-10 this year. He wasn't horrible. And one thing I like about him is his rebound control. He's not going to make those crazy saves, but he looks a hell of a lot more poised, Prez. Stuart Skinner looks like he's kind of in a rush whenever he's making saves. But at the end of the day, Bouchard hasn't been great. Nurse hasn't been great. I like that. But I got some interesting props here. I know Andy gave out some great ones as well. Philip Deneau point plus 145. He has a point in 5 straight games and 6 of his last 7 against Edmonton. That team is so deep that people forget about a guy like Deneau. Kempe over 2.5 shots on goal. Hear me out. This one's minus 145, Prez. Last game, he had 8 shots on goal, 11 shot attempts. In game 1, he had 8 shot attempts and a handful of shots on goal as well. I don't see why we go away from it, but here's the big one that I like here. Leon Draisaitl, not over 2.5, not over 3.5. I'm getting greedy today. Over 4.5 shots on goal, plus 295. Wow. If he has a good game, it's right now. I'm kind of in the belief that the Oilers go as the big guys go. If you tell me that McDavid or Leon didn't score tonight, I don't think they win. I think both of them have a great night tonight. Over 4.5 shots on goal, Draisaitl, plus 295.
Let's turn our attention to Saturday's card. Tampa Bay plus 120 against Florida. I think there's value on Tampa Bay here. We've seen the story play out. Tampa Bay lost both games to Florida at home a couple of years back and ended up taking 2 in Florida. They're right across the road from each other. There's going to be a lot of Tampa Bay Lightning fans in Florida. At plus 120, I'm going to take the dog. What about you?
I just want to mention what Jim said is Puck Time on a hiatus, and then Justin had her back saying it's hybrid today. It's Friday's going to mostly be a hybrid day with Blue Line and Puck Time, so we'll see if that changes moving forward, but we love all you guys being here with us in the live chat. So we are going to be on here with Barnaby and Prez on Fridays, but Puck Time is certainly not going anywhere. Prez, full transparency, lost a big play last night on Tampa Bay. I kind of backed and forth, liked both a lot, the Tampa Bay side and the under. But this is exactly what I was talking about earlier on in the show, where sometimes you look at the home ice advantage, you look at going on the road, and maybe now there is value on Tampa Bay. Game 1, I cashed a 5% play on the over, and game 2, we saw no goals practically for the entire game. I think we see under again here. I think we see back-to-back unders. Under 5.5 will be my play. But Bobrovsky's been fantastic. Vasilevsky is pretty much accepted. Hey, if my team's not scoring, I can't give up more than 2 or we're probably going to lose. So I think the last change does benefit Florida defensively here. And people forget they have so much talent, but their zone exits are so smooth. Don't be shocked to see this one end 2-1, 3-1 once again.
Yeah, I like the under as well. That's a good call. Lots of love for this show. Thank you, guys. And yeah, puck time's going nowhere. We're just no point in being redundant on Fridays. Vegas minus 145 against Minnesota. I like Vegas here, Andrew. I don't think I can pull it in regulation, though, because I think these teams are going to play tight. But I do like them on the money line at minus 145. Yourself?
Yeah, this is going to be another team total play for me, Prez, except for without going for the over 3.5 with Vegas. I'm going to go for the under 2.5 on the Minnesota Wild. This is going to have to be a defensive game for the Vegas Golden Knights. Believe it or not, people thought, and myself included, that it would be a Minnesota and under correlation with Vegas and over correlation. And right now, with what Kaprizov and Boldy and these young guys are doing, it at this point seems to me that Vegas has to bounce back with a solid defensive effort. So I'm going to take a look at a small little plus price. I believe plus 210 or plus 110 is the number. Minnesota under 2.5 goals.
Andrew, you know how much fun I'm having with doing these shows? I mean, like, come on, dude. Like, last week I got a chat with Jeremy Roenick and compliment his hair. This week, I got to make fun of Jason York. I don't even know who Jason York is, other than I watched him play hockey for the Ottawa Senators. Like, we had Shane Corson on last week. It's so freaking cool. Sorry.
And you know the best part,
I don't need to be a fanboy. But
well, you know, you can tell these guys are buddies. And so the best part is, like, everyone calls it locker room talk, right? And it's like, obviously there's locker room talk and then there's kind of the chirps outside of the locker room. But these guys, when they talk to each other, you can just see it when they talk to each other that they have like a million stories between each other and memories. And they could fire jokes at each other at all moments. It's great. And everybody brings something different, Prez. That's the best part about doing something like this.
I want that referee on for an hour, bro.
Oh, man.
I want to build a whole show around the referee. And I was in the dressing room with York and Barney making fun of me. Yeah. Hey, Dan Alexander, come on the show. Dan,
we got to get a pick from Dan. Let's get a random hockey pick from Dan. I want to know what he likes.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You know what Dan has that me and you don't have? Is
facial hair?
Well, I have.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Dan, my hair is as long as yours, bro. Okay, it's not, but I have as much hair. Dan has the phone numbers and email addresses of all our hockey guests. So we're going to be auctioning that all off next Friday live.
It's a great idea. It's a nice fundraiser. Help me raise money for the wedding. I'll sell off Tim Peel's personal phone number. You can ask him about ref questions.
Honestly, that one might earn the most money with people
That's
either pissed at him or whatever it might be.
So, Dan, you got a hockey pick for us?
A hockey pick? No, it's for you guys. I can get you with lacrosse action. That's about it. Nobody wants it.
All right.
Hey, Andrew, you know Dan's a lacrosse fanatic. You know John Tavares, his uncle, best lacrosse player in history. Do you know?
I think Dan might be like 7-1 with me with lacrosse picks. Dan has very, very seldomly let me down.
But the one that we remember is the one, Andrew. We don't care about the 7. We remember the one.
Yeah, that's it. Dan, you idiot. Why did you lose the 1? Okay, get out of here, Dan.
All
okay.
Right,
Toronto, Ottawa. I like the under here. I'm not overthinking this shit. I said day 1 a million times Ottawa never scores more than 2. So far, I've been right. If they score 3 or 4 in game 4, Toronto scores 0 or 1. I like the under, and I like it a lot.
Interesting. I think that's actually pretty cool, Prez. So you think that the game that they find their offense is the game that they shut down the Leafs?
No,
Interesting.
I just think that if they find their offense, it's because the Leafs shut themselves down. It's just
I'm going to respectfully be on the other side, and it's just because I've been looking
over.
I just think that I've been looking at a lot over the last handful of years. You know, obviously you've been betting a lot longer than me, Prez, but when I was younger and I first started betting, elimination games usually meant unders. And then over the past few years, elimination games have turned into overs. And whether it's, you know, just teams trading goals, or whether it's, I can't remember which guest of yours it was that said this, but you're almost feeling looser. The pressure's off Ottawa. What's the worst that happened? You're probably not going to win. Yeah, Jason said, I mean, let's be honest. Ottawa's not going to win the series. It's just a matter of how they lose. Are they going to lose in 4, 5, 6, whatever it might be? So maybe they come in a little bit looser. And then the instinct, I mean, Toronto being coached by Chief Coach Berube, he's going to have them ready. But at the end of the day, give me, if I'll put it this way, I think we're going to get at least 1.5, over 1.5, or 2, over 2.5. We could bet that over 3.5 third period goals. And if you get these goals in the third period, I remember the best betting run I've ever been on in my entire life, Prez. My entire life was during the COVID bubble NHL playoffs. And no matter what the juice was, I was betting over 1.5 third period elimination games. Because typically you'd get one regular goal and then you were getting one elimination empty net goal. And I think that with the total being 5.5, if you give me 2 or 3 goals in the third period, I think we get the full game over. So I can't take Ottawa because at the end of the day, and I respect you for saying it to me, Prez, earlier when we were talking, we haven't even seen the Leafs' best. But you know what's different about the Leafs this year? They've got goaltending. They've scored at least one dirty goal each game, and they've got defensemen scoring goals and random guys scoring goals. Their big guys are scoring goals, but I probably could have given many people 8 guesses to guess who scores the game winner last night. Not a lot of people would have even said on their 10th guess, Simone Benoit. And that's a really good thing for them right now in the playoffs.
Yeah, Simone Benoit, second goal of the year. Andrew, Colorado, Dallas. I leave. You tell me. I got nothing. I'm not touching that series. What do you got?
Well, Prez, you know, it's another one where when you look at the series, Dallas has led for 70 seconds in the series.
Yeah, crazy.
And they're up 2-1. So it's tough because it's, you know, we talk about the Leafs not playing their best hockey so far. And, you know, clearly they've done well and earned it enough to be up the way they are 3-0. But Dallas being up 2-1 here, a lot of people are wondering what the hell's going on. Does Colorado deserve to be minus 190? Hey, they're playing at home, but I don't know if they deserve to be minus 190 here in this one. One thing I've been shocked about has been the lack of goals in this series overall. I mean, when you look at the goals here in this one, and don't get me wrong, I'm a Blackwood fan and I'm a fan of Ottinger, but with the talent on the ice for both these teams, I think that if we even remotely see somewhat of a bounce back from the Avalanche, we see goals. And one thing I've tried to get better at as a sports bettor, Prez, if I lose a bet, don't be scared to go back on it. On Puck Time the other day, I gave out Nichushkin to get a point in game 2. He didn't get one. Game 3, I gave it out on Puck Time as my best bet again, and he scored the first goal of the game. So I'm going to give out the same play I bet last time and gave to my clients last time, over 3.5 team total for the Avalanche. At this point, we've seen it. If it's a low-scoring game, Dallas is going to find a way to win. So we've got to take that over 3.5 for the Colorado Avalanche.
Thanks for doing this, Andrew. Really appreciate it, and really appreciate that you and Carmine step back from Puck Time to do this with Matthew and I. Outstanding. What a freaking fun
Go
day.
Habs.
Go Habs. Lots of love from everybody. One of the better shows this year from Justin P. Mark Valdez, best show on Wager Talk besides Bet On It. I really appreciate the love, everyone. Shout out to Jason York for coming on. I had so much fun with him. Tim Peel was awesome. Refereed in the NHL. Matthew Barnaby. So thankful that he's prepared to give us his time to do this. Let me tell you, it wasn't easy for me to organize. That's for damn sure. Lots of love, everybody. We'll see you guys on Monday. The show won't be live on Monday, but we'll be doing this again next Friday. Thanks for watching the Blue Line Hockey Betting Podcast. Don't bet stupid, okay? Let's stay within inside of our means. Always expect to lose and let the winners, make you happy. It's just the best way to approach this type of situation. Just bet carefully. Lots of love, everyone. We'll see you on Monday.